2024 was a very busy year for both Metallica, who of course did a ton of touring as part of their massive M72 World Tour, which continues on into 2025. And it was also a busy year for Alice in Chains guitarist and vocalist Jerry Cantrell. He did a big summer tour with Bush and then put out a fantastic new solo record called I Want Blood. Hands down, one of my favorite albums from 2024. If you have not heard it just yet, I strongly recommend it. And he'll be kicking off a headline tour later this month with Filter opening. The tour, of course, is in support of the new record I Want Blood. And now Jerry was doing an interview in the latest issue of Metal Hammer. He was answering some fan questions where he was asked if he would ever do an album with James Hetfield. Here's what he said. James and I have talked about it, kind of. We never had a formal conversation, but I've jammed with him at Kirk Hammett's place. I've even spent a night or two at his house, and we've ended up with guitars in the kitchen and on the porch. It's something I'd be really curious about, even to just write a song with him. As for whether it'd turn into something more than that, he's got a pretty demanding day job, so I'd understand if it never comes to be. Obviously, that would turn out to be incredible music without a doubt, and while I believe it would be the first time that the two will have worked on any new music, if this ever happens, bear in mind, I mean, you know, I'm not holding my breath. Jerry was just simply answering a fan question. So, you know, it's not like this is going to come out later this year or anything like that. So keep that in mind. All he was doing was answering a fan question. But anyways, if it ever does actually happen, I think it would be the first time that they've worked on new music, but they have actually worked together a number of times over the years. Probably most notably, and the first one that really comes to mind, is Metallica's cover of Tuesday's Gone from Lynyrd Skynyrd that appears on the Garage Inc. Covers album. The song was recorded live in 1997, I believe, during a radio station broadcast for the Bay Area station KSJO. And Jerry Cantrell is just one of many musicians who appear on the song. It, of course, also features Gary Rossington from Lynyrd Skynyrd, rest in peace, Les Claypool from Primus, Pepper Keenan from Corrosion of Conformity and Down, and John Popper from Blues Traveler. I saw somewhere online too that Alice in Chains drummer Sean Kinney is also on it. I am not 100% sure on that, but Metallica played the song with some of those guests again in 2011. It's the footage you've been seeing up on the screen. That featured Jerry alongside Gary Rossington and Pepper Keenan, as well as Jim Martin, formerly from Faith No More. Station! I'll put a link to it below if you want to see it with audio, but beyond that, there has been a number of other appearances featuring both James Hetfield and Jerry Cantrell over the years, including at a number of various benefit shows. They both appeared at a benefit show called Acoustic for a Cure, where they did an excellent cover of Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper. I'll play a very quick snippet now. There's been a number of other times over the years where the two have played together. Obviously, we're not going to go through them all. There's no point. But I do want to point out that in 2006, if you're unfamiliar, James Hetfield joined Alice in Chains on stage. This is, I believe, the year following Alice in Chains reuniting. I think they first came back in 2005, but it was right around the time that they reunited. He joined them at Rock 'em Ring and played Wood with them on stage. One of my favorite Alice in Chains songs. I can't really show too much due to copyright, but here's a very, very quick clip if you're unfamiliar so that you can get a taste of what it sounds like. And I will, of course, put a link to the full thing down below if you want to watch. Rather interestingly, too, I came across some footage of Jerry doing For Whom the Bell Tolls with Metallica way back in 1994. Very, very cool. That, of course, will be linked below as well. But, you know, in terms of James Hetfield and Jerry Cantrell doing an album together, or, you know, even any music together, and again, I would not hold my breath. It is important to remember that Jerry was simply just answering a fan question. This is not, you know, some official press release or anything like that. I would not bank on it happening, certainly probably not anywhere in the near future, although stranger things have certainly happened, so, you know, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But obviously, if this ever does happen, it would be very, very awesome. But in other Alice in Chains news, as we wrap this up, Business Insider put out a report a few weeks ago, just before the holidays, saying that a number of musicians, Alice in Chains included, were misusing the grant money that they received during the pandemic. I did a whole video on it explaining everything. I'll link that down below if you want to check that out. But for now, that's all I got for you. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.